As I look to the horizon, not a cloud, but then storming weather's go too cold. Seems like it crept up out of nowhere, all around you is not what you foretold. You never see it coming. You see that my mind is too fast for eyes. You're done, but the time it hit you, you're not surprised.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here with Snort Burnell, Dspgaming, spilling saltiness. Ladies and gentlemen, this video was posted by Snort Burnell on May 1st. Today is May 4th. As you guys know, I am binge recording, and yeah, we're just kind of trying to catch up. I'll be watching this video blind, so I don't necessarily know what's in it, so we're kind of watching it in real time with each other, which will probably happen with the next few videos until we're in a comfortable spot. And then I think it's fun that way. Yet again, my apologies for the hiatus and just not having any content for you guys and whatnot. Hopefully in the future we'll be a little bit better about that. But while on hiatus and each one of us were kind of doing our own thing, we were able to kind of keep up with each other in the fact of what did we want to do. Asian GTG has some ideas. Kenny and Kevin always have ideas. And I'm kind of just the voice and the talking head of all this, despite the fact that I'm a very cute dog in a suit. And we hope what comes next, or at least in the future, is at least somewhat entertaining. And I'm also glad to see a lot of the, I guess, my peers are, really starting to stream more and this, that, and the third. It's really cool. Someone who I haven't seen stream in a while is MDP, or Marcus Daily Productions. He had streamed a couple of times on YouTube, and I think he streams on Twitch now. Now, keep in mind he's in school, so I'm not sure what his school schedule is like. But if you guys ever get a chance to kind of to check any of his streams out, please do, and whatnot. I know some of the guys that are in my comment section do check him out. So go over there, say hello. You know what I mean? He'd very much appreciate it. All right, we're about to get into the video. Ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking. Unreliable coverage that you can't count on at GTG Network and Productions. You guys all know the slogan. It's time to watch me work. Shout outs to Memology 101, Mighty D, Gout Police, James the Lesser Express Lane, and to all of you, of course. Yeah. Here we go.
Warning everyone. Warning. What you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting. Sound good?
Sounds great.
So yes, Ludwig will be going down. Let's hope they get hooked, and then we can get him with a constant revenue stream later. So here we are, and we are ready to defeat him. I am ready to take him on. I don't care if it takes me, 10 minutes, an hour, or the whole stream. I'm beating Ludwig on tomorrow's stream. Matter of fact, it's happening. He's going down. I'm getting my revenge. We're ending the suffering for sure. Ludwig will be crushed like a cockroach under my boot. What? What? He must be defeating. Alright.
And then, of course, continuing on with the Old Hunters DLC after I beat Ludwig, okay? Whatever you guys want to do, it's up to you. Certainly no pressure, but I am incredibly appreciative of anything that you guys contribute during the streams.
Phil's a scam artist. That's terrible. We got a few usual characters who are just sitting around.
I will say though too that those pre-streams are certainly getting longer and longer and whatnot. Like he tried to shorten them up there for a little while, but they've certainly continued to grow. And the whole build up to the whole what's the word I should look for here? For the plug-in segment, I guess, where you guys give him money and this, that, and the third. Like, the build-up to it is so overdone. And I think a lot of people are so mentally exhausted that once he gets there, you guys, most of the people in his fan base already know, and then that's why they chuck money at him during the pre-stream, so they don't have to worry about it during the actual gameplay. And which is ironic in a lot of ways, because Phil says, "Oh, it's all about the gameplay. I don't want to focus on the chat every second of the day." And in truth, at first, I thought when he was looking at the chat, he was really looking for help, which he is, as it pertains to the game. But he's also looking for cheers. If he doesn't hear a cheer after a little while, he looks over and he starts to get nervous. It's not a way to live, man. It's not a way to live.
I'm whining in the stream chat, and I'm going to be honest with you, I'm real tired of it. I'm not a whiny baby. I'm a mature adult, and I'm not a children's entertainer. And you know who you are.
Oh boy.
Here we go. In fact, one person is literally at this moment complaining. And all they do usually is sit around and complain. This person's been banned multiple times and then gets let back in via mercy, yet still sits around and complains. All I can taste is the saltiness. So,
I mean, you have no rights to throw any throw any salty stones at anyone, Phil. A lot of people have shown you a lot of mercy. A lot of people. There are a lot of YouTubers who you threw shots at, and they could have easily have sent fire down range, and they chose not to. Either because they thought that you weren't worth their time, or they really just felt bad for you, and they were like, "Oh, the guy's frustrated. Things aren't going well for him right now," and they let your ass slide. And there's even more successful people who are constantly reaching out to try to help you, and you don't take it. For whatever reason, whatever pathetic reason that you can come up with, you don't do it. Like there's something wrong with going out there and talking to people. Like there's something wrong about doing a collaboration with someone who has reached out to you to do so. They're already bigger than you. There's no benefit to it. At least not for them. It's merely trying to help another streamer out, which is something that I've noticed with Almighty Tevin a lot, is that at least in some spaces as it pertains to streaming, there are a lot of very hopeful people who want to see other streamers do well, which is a beautiful thing. But then there's people like you who think you're kind of beyond that, or you think you're already hot shit and you're just waiting for your moment, when in actuality those people who are reaching out to you might be your moment. Just saying.
People are not here to just hear you vent your complaints. You know what I mean? Like,
isn't that what your stream's about? Isn't that what led to that whole war dog leader situation? Just saying.
This is a stream chat for a fun, interactive gameplay stream, and if you don't like what you're seeing on the stream, no lie. There's probably about 4,000 billion jillion other fucking streams you can watch. So if your point is to just sit, alright, enough. That's it, I'm done. Oh, you're gonna get salt. It's even now, I'm getting my mouth overpowered with salt flavor. I'm done. Now he's timed out. That's right. This is the United States of Phil. I am the supreme being. I make the rules, and what I say goes. This is not a place for you to stand on your soapbox and complain about censorship and freedom of speech, because the bottom line is you don't have freedom of speech. This is my land. And let's see if he learns his lesson, and if he continues to complain, he'll be permanently banned. It's that simple. I'm just tired of it. Basically, here's a whiny baby. There's certain people who come in here every day, and all they do is complain. It's like, but why are you here then? You know what kind of stream this is. We need more money. We need more money.
Yeah. That's
what this stream is about.
Of course.
You know the kind of games I play. You know what to expect on pre-stream. Yet you're here complaining every day instead of just doing something else with your time. And quite frankly...
But then you're the same one who's like, well, you know, they were complaining and they didn't like what was going on, so I told them, all right, well, go ahead and leave. And then they leave and then they don't come back. You sound like someone whose mom or dad walked out on them and just never showed back up. You sound like a kid when you say shit like that. And the reason why people shit on you for saying stuff like that is because it's your fault. You told them if they didn't like what was going on to leave, and then they didn't. And you're somehow surprised by it. And the thing is when some of them leave, they really don't come back. Or they certainly don't come back for long periods of time. And yet again, that's on you. And yet again, do you actually listen to any of their complaints? Do you take any of that into account? can you understand or empathize where they're coming from when it comes to this? Because these aren't just some run-of-the-mill people who just run up in there. Sometimes these are longtime fans. Waifu Destroyer Matt is one of those people who comes up as an example. He hasn't talked much lately. Not since he got cucked on stream. But what about that type of situation? He was valid in what he said. And you completely shitted on him. Why he came back is on him. So I guess I have to agree with you on that one. He chose to come back on his own accord. It is what it is. But at the same time, did you think about what he had said? And why the situation came out the way it did? You sit there and get mad because people come to your streams and complain and bitch about what's in front of them. Yet your streams are all about you whining, complaining, and bitching about your life and how they need to give you money so you can continue to do this for a living. And if they don't give you money right then and there, this is all going to go away. When in truth, you can't go anywhere because there's nowhere else for you to go. You can feed the lie, you can spin the lie, you can do whatever you want to do with it. But at the end of the day, it's still a lie. Nothing? Nothing at all? Alright.
I'm tired of looking at it, and I know a lot of people are tired of looking at it. Because this guy's become a running joke at this.
Well, first off, you shouldn't be looking at it anyway. You should be concentrating on the game. You should be concentrating on the stream itself, meaning you playing the game. It's funny how, for someone who has mods, and he does, King of Swaggins is or Queen of Swaggins, whatever they call him, is the one who comes up to mind, because he's on a banning campaign like nothing I've ever seen before. And I shudder to say this, because not that I give a shit about the person, but as it pertains to Brightside Viking, he's at least knocking on that door of, being the active barrier, the gatekeeper in a lot of ways, to be honest with you. Like Brightside. The problem is, well, not the problem, but the only thing is that Brightside didn't just ban people. Well, he did, but he didn't do it at Swaggin's frequency. Like, he'll get you for anything. And even if he misses it for the first couple seconds, eventually he'll get you. Even Brightside lets certain shit get away with it, slide by. Not Swaggins. Nah, Swaggins need all that. Just like Phil needs all the money's mine, and I want it. Swaggins is no different. The bands are mine, and I want it. He wants every one of them. You gotta chill, bro. you really do. It ain't like Phil's community is growing overnight. You need to chill. I understand that he had like 700 or 800 people that were watching his stream the other day, but how many of them were actually subbing? How many of them were actually tipping outside of the usual suspects? You guys got to take stuff like that into accountability. If not, you're just destined to repeat the active failure that you're already on. Just saying, you guys got to be smarter, if that's possible.
And by the way, I should say, it's not just him. There's other people too, but in general, if you're not enjoying what you're watching, why are you here? I'm just losing my mind. And the other thing is there's hundreds of other people watching and enjoying what they're watching. Cult mentality people. A $5 sub club. So it's obviously your problem. So so we don't need to hear you constantly spewing the stream chat and wasting everyone's time with it, alright?
In fact, I'm getting requests to get this guy permanently banned and don't let him back because he's annoying and people don't like him. Wow. Yeah, I really try to be a nice guy, guys. I do. I try to be a nice guy.
He doesn't want to do it, though. I wonder if Swaggins is the one who ended up doing it, but Phil doesn't want to do it. Because if he does, then people will... Then, one, he doesn't realize that he's probably being baited by the people who are saying that. And two, there are too many instances of Phil screwing up publicly when it comes to just banning people for having an opinion. And it came back to bite him in the ass. So now he has to kind of play victim and be like, I want to try to be a good guy. I want to try to give him the benefit of the doubt, but... They do it, man. Every time I try to be a good person and I try to step my way out of my gout, the gout and the negativity and the detractors just pull me back in.
I give so many chances. This guy has had like 1,000,000 chances. And he's been warned 1,000,000 times, too. Alright, so now we are getting rid of a troll who's spamming racist stuff. Sorry, guys. And I also timed out someone who is also a regular complainer in the stream chat. And now they know who they are. So, there you go. That's 2 people now timed out. Let's see if they learned their lesson or if they earned their permanent bans today.
I'm just going to ban.
I've never seen Phil ban anybody over racism, so that's not happening. Unless they were talking shit about Italians. I've seen people in this chat shit on the Polish. Jokingly, of course, I'm sure. Talking something about Polish sausages or whatever the case may be. And Phil was quick to get them up and out of... Or Phil let that shit slide, but when they were talking shit about Italians, he was quick to get them out of there. Which is ironic in a lot of ways, too. But, whatever. You guys don't know what I'm talking about? Pick up a history book. You'll know exactly what I mean.
Fighter's 30th anniversary.
Someone has promised me they're going to give me a code for the game on Xbox One, but I already said I'm buying it on PS4, so if this is the case, if this actually happens...
Someone promised you. Are you sure they just didn't say, hey, Phil, I can pick this up for you? Or maybe I can get this, Phil? Who makes promises like that? You shouldn't be promising anything to anybody. If you can come through, you can come through. You can't. Perfect example. Some people say one of the tests of... One of the great tests of if you have good friends or whatnot is when you need help moving. Okay? Because, as usual, hey man, I'm going to be moving soon. Would you mind helping me out? Yeah. And you can ask just about anybody and they'll be like, yeah man, I got you. When moving day comes around, you find out who your real friends are because they're there. They are there. Bright and early, groggy, tired, sometimes hungover, but they're there. Compared to everybody else who was quick to come up with the excuses halfway through the move. Just for example, I've helped a lot of people. I've helped a lot of friends move, so I've seen a lot of shit. And almost none of them were really good excuses. So there you go on that one.
Then I'll have 2 versions of the game. It doesn't matter what console you guys own. I'll be doing sessions both on PS4 and Xbox One. So how cool is that? You'll be able to play against me, in both versions. So for once, like the first time ever, I'll own both versions of a game and I'll be able to play with you guys no matter what. Yeah!
That's your fault, though. You're the one who constantly shifts over the PlayStation. You could just buy both copies. You could buy, I should say 2 copies or 1 for each console you own. Especially since you know that you have a fan base that plays on PlayStation and Xbox respectively. So, yet again, you should be a bit more accommodating to the people who give you money to live. It is what it is. Didn't you say that all of your tips go to getting you things as it pertains to the office, as it pertains to your business? Well, guess what? When you're doing multiplayer events, that's an aspect of your business. Just saying.
I'm a gamer! Now we got an anonymous troll tip. It's an obvious troll tip, but I'm going to read it anyway because...
Stop being a drama queen.
Whatever. It's not super bad or anything. I got a dollar tip anonymously. Hey Phil, I just watching some of your old 2010 playthroughs and you seem very happy and energetic the whole time. Nowadays you look a little downtrodden while streaming. Are you okay? If you're suffering from depression, there's help. So it's obvious this guy's...
How's that a troll? How's that a troll? It's true. It's blatantly true. Go to Mighty D's channel, for example, and he does some DSP archives. You can see it. Plain as day. I mean, granted, though, that was before the gout and potential kidney stones. So, of course, he seemed a bit more upbeat. And he still had friends at that point. He hadn't stabbed them in the back yet. And whatnot. And he still had his potentially underage girlfriend. I'm joking. He still had his super young-ass girlfriend prancing around as fan service. If she had done more squats, there might have been more cake back there. Just saying. So, yeah. Of course he had a lot to be happy about. Instead of now, where he's literally the fucking toilet of the internet, and he'll never be able to do anything about it. Even on even on your guy's worst day, you would never trade it for Phil's best day. And Phil knows it.
The troll, alright. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there's a vast difference between 2010 Phil and 2018 Phil. The first and foremost is I'm 8 years older. I was in my 20s back then. In 2010, I hadn't even made a penny doing YouTube videos.
So yeah, if you watch videos from 2010 and you compare them with what I've been doing recently, of course it's going to look different.
Before the gout and greed.
I'm here to play games and have fun. I'm not here to be a whore. Alright? I'm not here to beg you for money.
I don't know, you're pretty whorish now.
Gout, 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 gouty, gout, McFist, gout, fucking butt fuck, gout, farts, gout, gout, gout. Finally, I did get a mouthful of meat that time. Oh, I got a mouthful of meat.
Is cat getting a mouthful of meat? That's the real question. Anyway.
And a little bit of sauce. Day one views, day one inflated views, make the money, let the green roll in. Please. I need that money, I really do. I need that money to pay my bills.
Sure.
Greed is map.
I'm sorry. It's just every time I see that, every time I see that, or every time especially when I hear it, it's like I need that money. I need the money to pay my bills. I imagine Phil coming to a Snort Burnell video and seeing that meme and thinking to himself, what the hell have I done? That's what I imagine. It's not necessarily Christmas morning, but it gives you like a nice kind of fuzzy feeling sometimes. It's a nice fuzzy feeling. First day of summer type feelings. Like you go outside, you get that fresh air, like it's good not to have gout.
Massively strong. I have no fucking self-control.
First of all, I'm now live streaming, which means there's really, very few opportunities for breaks. A lot of the times I have to now be micromanaging. It's not just me playing a game.
What are you talking about? It's your stream. If you need to take a break, you take a break. Other normal people do it, and it does it without problems. Just run some music in the background real fast, do what you got to do, and then come back. Most people eat on stream. You know what I mean? And whatnot, and have like a little Q&A, Phil. You don't have a problem doing that. That's what DSP tries-its are, essentially. Come on, give me some more excuses.
It's me playing a game while reading stream chat and interacting with everyone, while monitoring the stream and making sure everything on the stream is working well. By the way, while micromanaging the amount of time I'm recording, because I have to split the parts for YouTube while I'm live streaming too. So I'm literally doing 3 to 4 things at once when I'm playing. It's kind of hard.
He couldn't have a real job. He really couldn't. I could see him in his boss's office complaining about, I have to type all of this into the system, and then I have to pick up this pen, and then I have to actually write stuff down, and then I have to staple stuff, and then I have to walk down to whoever that guy is with the nice office and give that to him, and then I have to leave and listen to all the hot girls laughing at me and shit because they think I smell like spam, and then I have to go back to my chair, I have to sit down, I have to order lunch, I have to wait for lunch to show up. Now while I'm doing all that, I could be finishing up some extra paperwork, but I'm so hungry that I would rather sit in my chair for 20 minutes at my cubicle and wait for lunch to show up. Then I have to wait for lunch to show up, I have to tip the guy. I'm not going to tip the guy, but I have to act like I'm going to tip the guy. Then I have to unwrap my sandwich. I have to consider, should I wash my hands right now or actually go ahead and just eat anyway and just wash afterwards, disgusting as that may or may not be. And then I have to eat, and then I catch the itis, then I have to take a small nap, and then I have to act like I'm working when my boss leaves early because he has to get to his mistress. It's just so much to do. Phil couldn't have a real job. He really couldn't. Phil couldn't have a real job.
To, be overly, oh my god, I'm happy, energetic, bouncing off the walls.
刑務所に入ることになるんですか?
When you're doing 4 things, I have to pay attention to what I'm doing. So it's a little bit more serious now. Real talk, it really is. It's a little bit more serious. Doing this stuff the way that I do it now, because I have to make sure that everything's up to snuff and there's no problems and everything's going well. I have to make sure people are entertained and I'm interacting. There's a lot of stuff to keep track of versus just point a camera at the TV, right?
Oh my god.
And like I said back then, it was a hobby. It was something that I got popularity on the internet for, but I didn't make money doing. So quite frankly, and this is the God's honest truth, I didn't give a shit if people liked what I did or not. I was like, I'm going to put out a style of video. If you like it, great, watch. If not, I don't care. Because it's not anything I'm doing for money anyway. It's just something silly that I'm doing on YouTube as a hobby, right? Today, I do have to make sure that everything I do is important and you guys are enjoying it. The bottom line is, guys, I view all of you as independent, intellectual, intelligent individuals who have actively chosen to come on my streams, watch my stuff, and have fun with me. They actually pay me money to do this. That's how dumb these people are. very, very, very hypocritical.
Yeah, watching 2010 DSP versus 2018 DSP, it's going to be very different things. Times have changed dramatically in 8 years, you know?
This is reality and this is life, guys. You may not realize it, but, you know, things don't stay the same perpetually.
And quite frankly, if they do, usually they get...
You mean how you complain about how you were making so much money on Machinima when you first started, and then 5 years later you weren't making that money, and yet you didn't understand what was going on, and they were screwing everything up, and they were the ones who started this particular program so I could get bonuses, and then they lost it after 2 months, and yet again, it was their fault, not mine, and I don't understand why they can't keep shit together. They made a deal with us that I would get bonuses, and I expect my bonuses, and I don't understand why they're doing that. And at the end of the day, as it pertains to, you know, my ad revenue and whatnot, hey, you know, I understand that I'm not catching the views and the looks that I was in 2010, and this is 2004, you know, 2010, so 2014 or 2015, but I expect the same amount of money. It is what it is. You weren't spouting all that change bullshit then. So don't do that now.
It's stagnant. You know, I'll be honest here. There's a lot of things out there that barely have changed, and they're kind of stagnant at this point. How many people say The Walking Dead now is boring as hell because it's ran the same way for 8 years, right? I'll be honest with you guys. I probably could not ever sit down again and watch an angry video game nerd or a nostalgia critic video. Not to say that they're not the same or they're not as good as they used to be.
But they really are kind of the same thing for 10 plus years. And
so are you. To be honest. So are you. Wah wah.
Some things just lose their appeal after time. You know what I mean? That's like me. Read, right? That's like me. Read. Me, at least in my regard, I've changed things up a million times. I went from being this guy who just did it for fun as a hobby, a couple hours a day with a shitty camera, to a guy who did it more professionally with a widescreen camera and started doing full playthroughs, adopted live streaming, and became, you know...
Ugh, professional. Professional? You want to see someone who has stepped up gradually and whatnot. And I really like his layout and how professional he's become. It's like an almighty Tevin. A Dr. Disrespect is another person that you can look after. There's a couple people you can look at and see how shit's professional. If you guys really want to see some shit that's fucking amazing, is go and look at Warski Live. If you guys are into like internet drama, you guys like watching Mr. Medicare and shit, you guys can check that out. Like, his layout's pretty nice. Like, and his setup is actually kind of nice. That'd be kind of cool. I wouldn't mind having something like that someday. And whatnot. And yeah, that'd be kind of cool. It kind of goes back to the thing I want to do, where I just have like a nice call-in show. You guys get 45 seconds. You can rant. You can say whatever you want to say about me, about DSP, about anything. You got 45 straight seconds. Go ahead and go. But anyway, and that have round table discussions and shit like that. But anyway, that's professionalism. Not Phil sitting on some shitty ass couch. Well, not even a couch, a love seat. Which is funny because there's no love in that house whatsoever. And watching his back get messed up, voices to shit, and looking at his chat. Predominantly the whole stream. There's nothing professional about what you do. Period.
More of a hybrid streamer, YouTuber, then became way more professional, got an office to do this in with professional grade equipment, so I sounded a lot better, I looked a lot better, then adopted again on the fly and became more of a full-time streamer than anything else with webcam all the time. And, you know, it's very different what we're doing now, man. Wow.
So, I'm happy with how things have gone.
Atlas Telemon shoot again. He said your voice during Street Fighter 4 gameplay was much higher. Does Laugh you probably can't hit that pitch now? No, I can't, man. Motherfucker. Let's hear it. I can't do it anymore. My throat's so fucked up. You know, my voice has gotten way more raspy, way more lower pitched, and that's because of just years of work of talking.
No, it's because he didn't take care of himself. That's the main reason. Because his voice was going to go out on him eventually and whatnot. You could go ahead, you could make the argument that, oh, he's streaming more, so it is what it is. But then again, is a lot of his streams are dead air. It's not the streams that is what hurts him. It's the pre-streams is what it is. You're talking about someone who perpetually speaks about his life as if it means a damn to anybody outside of himself. And it don't. And that's the reason why Phil talks as much as he does. Because he really believes that he's interesting. And he's not. And this is coming from an asshole who actually does videos on him. He's not interesting, really. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of his streams are dead air. You know what I'm saying? Now, don't be wrong. You can catch some gems in there, obviously. Hence the reason why we're doing this video. You can catch some gems. But if you've ever sat down and actually watched the Phil stream, which is... it's a hard one. It's not the easiest thing to do. Not at all. You're going to find that you're going to spend more time on the chat than anything else because he doesn't say anything. He very rarely interacts with the stream itself unless money is being given. Other than that, that's it. And when he's looking at the game, he very rarely says anything. But then again, that depends on what game he's playing. At the end of the day, it's all excuses.
All I do all day is talk on stream, right? I make a living because I actually work my ass off to make a living and make money and pay bills. What you've seen is me sitting around with my thumb up my ass.
And it changes you. Ask any radio host, ask any professional singer. They'll tell you that when you do stuff like this...
You're comparing yourself to radio hosts or singers. That's what we're come down to now. Alright. Whatevs. Whatevs.
Over and over and over. That it changes you. Okay?
I'm gay, totally gay.
But in general, it's what it is. You get older and things change, and that's it, you're right. I don't have the high-pitched voice I used to have anymore. I don't. I can't even do the high-pitched crazy laugh anymore that I used to do. I can't do it.
PUBG is fun because people get to interact, and that's why they're motivated to cheer, sub, and tip. All right. Quick buck. I got paid for your stupidity, as opposed to, another game where I'm hyper-focused on the game, and there's not a lot of chat interaction. So I can understand that. But...
You're a streamer, though. If the content is good, they'll pay you regardless. End of story. Now keep in mind, I really appreciate Mr. Huffstuffs when he does the Q&A videos for DSP. He does his Q&A DSP videos and whatnot, where he basically patches together all the questions that Phil has during these PUBG streams. I appreciate those because you do catch, like I said, you catch a lot of gems in there. But but keep in mind, excuse me, he has to. Our boy here has to go through 4 hours of Phil's bullshit to get to that video, to get to the end result of what is his video, which is anywhere from 30 minutes to 40 minutes. That's a lot of dead air and a lot of extra bullshit that Mr. Stuffs has to go through to give you something palatable. And Phil knows, he has to know that. He can sit there and talk shit about these detractor videos all you want, but when you get into people like your S. Julius Cruz, your David Davison, your Volt Boy, your Memology 101, your Mighty D, Mr. Stuffs, Snort Burnell, people who really go in and chop and screw, just imagine how much footage they have to go through to get that gem that's presented to you. You know what I mean? And obviously that's something that we all already know, but does Phil really understand that? So you can't sit there and say that these people are just being assholes and monetizing your videos and getting all this money off it. Look at the amount of work they had to go through to do it. It was literally dried out clay that they essentially had to re-moisturize to turn it into something. Something that you never could. People say you could. I don't think you could. I've seen your editing before. And my editing is terrible. These guys' editing is just moderately better than mine. But your editing is garbage. So, there you go.
At the same time, PUBG is not super entertaining. It's not something that I want to do all the time. So maybe 1 or 2 times a week. And, I cried. It was real emotional.
My bad. When I said that, what I meant by these guys, I meant the guys here at the office, not all the YouTubers that I named. Their shit are leaps and bounds above me and Phil. So, there you go with that. Damn you, Phil.
It's very, very emotional. Now my throat is starting to close up. Wow, that's one of the very few times I've ever actually gotten really, really genuinely emotional. Twitch is now gone. I got the chair.
The problem here is that the PS4 is a launch PS4, and in the past year to year and a half, I've been having more and more problems with it.
Are you still bitching with this shit? Here's the thing. Okay, I'm sure if you guys are on Twitter at this point, you've seen it. Phil's office is just, and more, it's disgusting. And not only that, but like his entertainment center, where all of these consoles and everything are at. It's I don't think Kat had enough time in her week to tackle that. It was gross. It was absolutely horrible. And you can understand why his equipment keeps breaking down on him like it does. He doesn't take care of his shit. He doesn't take care of any of that stuff whatsoever. He just lets it accumulate dust. He lets it accumulate all this, that, and third. And which goes back to something that I've been saying, I think as long as I've been doing these videos, is he's breathing that same stuff in. I'll try to see if I can find it for this video. But he keeps breathing that stuff in. You know what I mean? That's what's going into his body. And he's okay with that. He doesn't see a problem with it. But now he's complaining about, oh, my voice this, oh, my voice that. Alright.
In particular, the optical audio port stops working randomly. The USB ports have an error saying that I'm using too many USB ports, even though I only use one USB port for my headset.
Maybe you should clean that shit, man. Get some compressed air and shit and make that shit happen, dog. I would tell you, to be honest, is to get a specialized screwdriver kit and actually dismantle it and go ahead and blow all that out. Because God knows what kind of shit that's probably in there outside of the dust mites, roach carcasses, and whatever else and whatnot. I don't know if you can spread gout to an electronic, but if you can, I'm sure it's already caught it. Just saying. You might want to take the time to do that. But then again, you're not handy, and you're not really that smart, so I'm afraid that you probably end up busting it up anyway. But then again, it makes a pretty good opportunity for people to buy you a PS4 Pro, and you would have no choice but to accept it because you'd be desperate. Because he doesn't like Xbox.
And if you can believe it, I can't factory reboot it. Like, you're supposed to be able to do a hard reset of it if you hold down the button. I've tried doing it because they said that'll fix the USB port issue. My PS4 will not do it. So for whatever reason, my PS4 cannot hard reset. It just doesn't work. So I can't even fix the issues that normally do. Oh, do this, it'll fix it. I can't even fix it.
So eventually,
I'm sure there's other ways you could get around that. You're just looking for the easy solution. You're not willing to put some work in. You're not willing to bleed a little bit to make shit happen. And when I keep in mind, if you had taken care of your stuff in the first place, you would have probably gotten way more longevity out of it. At the same time, you said you got it at launch. So it's a pretty old console at this point. It might be just time to go ahead and get something else. So, there you go.
actually, I'm thinking I'm going to have to get a new one, but I don't have money for it. I don't.
You don't have monies for
I
it.
don't have money for a new PS4.
Give me monies.
Help! Burn in hell, Burnell. And now I'm going to burn in hell for the rest of eternity because of it.
Probably.
You can't change who you are, I guess.
Sadly,
what
no.
pasta do you prefer?
Alright, there we go. So, that's really just him bitching just a bitch. And that's okay. It's what one can expect from DSP. As it pertains to that PS4 Pro, he needs to kind of just buckle down and just go ahead and buy it. He's going to need to eventually. And at the end of the day, he just buys it, and then he just squeezes it out of the pig roaches, or the piggy banks, or the pig roach banks, whatever you want to call them, and he'll get all of his money back and some. So there you go. It'll be what they call it, or what does Phil call it? It's supporting and contributing to the cause. There you go. But in any case, ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking, unreliable coverage that you can't count on. A GTG Network and Productions. I am your host / anchor, GTG, and I'm signing off. End of broadcast. He needs to just stop bullshitting and just get that PS4 Pro already. It's obvious that you need it. I mean, granted, it'll break down in a couple of years on you either which way, but clean that office for God's sake. Or at least have Kat do it. That's what she's there for. Shit.